Hi, how's it going? Today on Cold Hearted Complaints Off Topic, we're going to be talking about two recent anime. One that has been completed, that's called Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, and another one that is still currently running. It's on its 5th episode at time of recording. It's called The Rising of the Shield Hero. But since Bunny Girl Senpai has already been completed, that's the one we're going to talk about first. So let's get right to it and have some fun here talking about some anime. So Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai is about a typical high school Japanese boy named Sakuta who goes on various adventures helping people with something he calls adolescence syndrome. It's this scenario where you have teenage angst, or you have your teenage problems, your problems of growing up into adolescence that manifest themselves into some sort of supernatural occurrence. These can vary to the feeling that you're being invisible translating into you actually being invisible to certain people, or say you repeating the same day over and over again like it's some sort of Groundhog Day scenario. Sakuto is kind of like a guide, kind of like an investigator. He goes through and helps all these different people with their problems, trying to figure out what the root cause of it is and how they can get over it and cure themselves. It's a pretty straightforward anime, but it's a lot of fun. Sakuta as a character has a lot of really fun dialogue that really sets him apart from other anime protagonists that I'm aware of. Him being really well written also compares to his supporting cast being equally well written. Which is a lot of females. There's a lot of women in this show, and a lot of them are really well done. Have a lot of depth and emotional conflict and character development and growth. All of its 13 episodes have been released, so you can go to Verve, you can watch the entire thing right now. It's really worth it. It is not a huge time commitment at 13 episodes. Its plot really goes at a really nice clip. It doesn't drag much at all, and that lends to it because it's kind of episodic in ways. Well, it has like 3 to 4 episode arcs specific around a character and their syndrome or their problem, and it's about Sakuta going through and helping them with their specific problems, and solving it in this small chunk of time. These 3 to 4 episodes, which really gets the show to keep moving, which I feel like is sometimes a common problem, where like the episodes just feel like, you could shorten this up a bit. There's a lot of fluff here, and this show doesn't really get to that. There is a lot of good relationship drama, though. There is a relationship in it. There is a romantic interest, and it's one of my favorite romantic subplots in all of anime, which isn't very hard. There's not a lot of great romantic subplots in anime. Toradora is always going to be my favorite and like my pinnacle of like what I want out of romantic subplots in anime. But Bunny Girl Senpai has something true to it. It has something that I don't see a lot of in anime, and I really wish I did, but I can't get into it because I don't want to just spoil it for you and just tell you what happens. But so you're gonna have to watch it, find out. But it does something with anime you don't see a whole lot of, and something I wish, just in general in media, both American and Japanese, all around, I wish there was more of these kind of stages of the relationship people go through. So really great. I love it. Really just a solid show, so give it a shot. The other anime I want to talk about is The Rising of the Shield Hero, which is a new anime, which, as I mentioned earlier, 5 episodes out right now. It's just started, just getting rolling, and so far, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty kick-ass. It is about it's an isekai anime, so it's about this one otaku from Japan who is magically transported to a mystical world. Well, here he is a hero. A hero destined to do great things, except he's one of 4 heroes. There is 4 mystic heroes, all with their own special weapons. One with the bow, one with the sword, one with the spear, and our main character, who, as you can guess from the title of the series, has a shield. He is the shield hero. Now, as a shield hero, he is entirely defensive. He does not have offensive capabilities whatsoever, basically. This is because he also can't wield any other weapons. None of the heroes can wield a separate weapon besides the weapon that they carry with them. So he doesn't have an ability to like also have a sword with him and stab. He just has a shield. He can only wear his shield. And that makes for a really compelling story. So you have a character transported to another world who is very far from overpowered. He is weak as hell. He can't fight, basically, because he has a shield. He can defend really well, but he has like no offense. His name is Naofumi. Naofumi is, again, from Japan, and he is brought here with 3 other heroes, all also from Japan. The world is kind of a lot like an RPG anime, right? Where, say, you're brought into a world, like, I don't know, ReZero is a great example of this, where you're brought into a world, and it's a lot like an RPG. This one specifically because it has levels and stats and like screens where you can look at the growth and development of your stats and levels, specifically tied to them because they are heroes with magical weapons, but not something that like everyone else has. But there are like demi-humans, there's monsters, goblins, there's you have to level up and grow over time in this world, which is their basic task. They're brought to this world because the world is being threatened by waves of destruction, basically, and each wave gets progressively stronger and stronger, which is why it's important for them to come to this world and to level up their abilities. The way they do this is they go out on missions and quests, and they get XP. For various reasons, they aren't allowed to work together, so they all have to split up and work with their own adventuring parties as 4 separate heroes. But the problem is that the shield hero isn't very popular as a class, right? So if you're looking at it like as a class in any of your favorite video games, it's that one class that like, you know, someone has to play it, but no one really wants to, like support. If you're playing Smite, like people love playing support. There are those people who love playing support, but it's not the role for a lot of people because you're purely defensive, right? You're not going out there, you're not getting the killing sprees, you're not going on these wild just frenzies of just taking down everyone. You are supposed to support. And so no one wants to adventure with him because they think the support is weak. So he has to find out ways to, you know, to grow his ability and to grow on his own. There are other topics that are discussed in this anime that I don't really want to get into because they need a lot of finesse in discussing how the show handles it, but there is topics of slavery that goes on. There's a lot of class disputes that go on with the aristocracy and the royalty that prefer these 3 noble heroes who are all far more like what you typically get in isekai anime, compared to our shield hero, who is really atypical for an anime series because he's not like a quiet, dignified character. He is he's shady, and he is not afraid to tell things like it is and how upset and unhappy with the situation he is, and that is really refreshing out of a character. This is another character who I really love the protagonist because he has a lot of he's interesting. And like, interesting is one of the best things you can have in a show. I don't know whether I really like him, but like as a person, but I think as a protagonist for this kind of show, he's very interesting because he's put in this really specific scenario, right? He isn't even like as I mentioned before, this show has a lot of like RPG elements. He's not even like, in his own world, he plays like visual novels, right? He doesn't know about RPGs. He doesn't know about stats and all this kind of thing. It's not his world, right? And so he's really unaccustomed to it. He's not the kind of person who would want to be brought to another kind of world. While the other characters, the other heroes, feel more accustomed to it, like chivalrous and cool, you know. He's on his own, and he's got this more interesting way where he has to deal with the calamity. He can't be the badass who's gonna beat everyone, and he's not. And that's interesting because it shows his priority in defending and protecting people, because that's what he is. He's pure defense. And seeing how that translates to the people like the aristocracy who love these flashy damage people, you know, these damaging characters, the long range, impressive attack kind of characters, compared to, I don't want to get too much into spoilers, but there are like people who would benefit more from being protected, you know, people who he understands, like the shield hero Naofumi, he understands people more. And he's able to connect with people more because he's not this hero with his head in the clouds about how he's a noble knight about to save everybody. because he has the practical problem of just having to get stronger and figuring out how you do that when you're in a feedback loop of being a defensive hero. The way he handles that is interesting and also brings in a great character. But you just got to watch the show for that, because it's only 5 episodes in at this point. But this is a really good anime to jump on, and it's not too long at this point here, so give it a shot. It's a lot of fun, and it's definitely one I want to have more of a conversation about, because there are parts of it, I have this problem a lot, where there are problematic parts of things that you love. I'm wearing a Berserk shirt right now, so if you want to talk about problematic things and things that you love, Berserk is a big one. And I could talk for hours about that, but that's not what we're doing here today. As a general rule though, keep in mind what you're watching with anime, especially anime with any kind of media, but especially anime. Keep in mind messages and ideas that they're presenting, and see where the main character may be wrong, and whether the show thinks he's wrong or whether the show thinks he's good. The ways I think that Rise of the Shield Hero presents it is nuanced, but that's something, again, you want to keep an eye on and think about for yourself. Not getting into spoilers about the in-depth reason about that, but just a little warning to give out to you. Other than that, though, I think that's pretty good. Go watch these shows. They are both really fantastic. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, give it a like. If you want to talk about this anime, or if you just have issues with this anime, let me know. Give me a comment. I'm more than happy to respond to you and talk to you about these, especially as they go along here. Because my opinion could definitely change on the Shield Hero. I don't think it's going to change on Rascal. But you never know with anime that currently runs 5 episodes in. You never know if there's an opinion that changes. So if you have a different opinion of it, or if it gets further along, you want to talk to me about it, leave a comment. I'm more than happy to respond to you and go into my thoughts on the series as it progresses. And I may do a follow-up video once this is done, but just want to jump on this early. Yeah, if you want to see more videos from me, subscribe to the channel. Helps me out. Yeah, and that's about it. And you, viewer, stay rad. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.